Can you, Biscuits?
It's a great pleasure to have you on the stage with me. I'm someone that's very influenced by jungle music. I grew up in Bristol in the 90s, going out to a lot of jungle raves, hearing a lot of this man's music, a lot of the music created by that movement. So it's a real honor for me to have you on this stage and to explore some of the ideas and movements behind what's created all this. I thought it would be good, though, to start with hearing some of your most recent music, because you've just released an album called Ancestors. And which of these songs that we have up in front of us would you like to share? Navajo Flute, let's go. Congo Natty. It might be surprising to some people who know some of your earlier work or some of your work from down the years to hear your new album opening with a piece like that. It feels like ritual, it feels like ceremony, and it has like a religious quality, a spiritual quality to it. But those who know you as a devout Rastafarian and as a spiritual and creative practitioner won't be so surprised to hear it. It feels to me like the spirit, the sense of ritual, the sense of honouring what's come before as well is something that's really central to what you do. Can you tell us a little bit more about that relationship between the spiritual life, the creative and musical life?
Bless everyone who's here. Well, we are energy, we are frequency, and we've been dumbed down from birth, you know what I mean? So that's my son there. My son was, for me, the start of a revolution. Because before I talk about music, I've got to talk about my family. You know, because without them, I wouldn't even be sitting here now. I'll be another lost soul in Tottenham, M15, dreaming of things I could have achieved in my life, but never doing it. So with my family, with my family unit, I was managed to start my life again. So I was taking my son to school because I thought that's what you do. But my son would escape out of the window at 4 years old. He didn't want to be in there. And I didn't even feel right letting his hand go when I was putting him into school. Something didn't feel right. So I started to home ed from he was 4. And he's here today. He's a successful music producer. Can you make some noise for my son, Prince Joseph? Yes, Prince Joseph. Yo. So that's really what music is about. Music is about getting free. So my journey in music has started from a place, N15, Tottenham. And it's just been morphing and travelling until Ancestors. And Ancestors is really the fullness of what I've been doing, because it involves the ancestral line of music, you know, and music is eternal. You know, we're just part of that spark in this time, you know.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the place you grew up, what it was like growing up in that place at that time, and what forces were there around you that shaped you and pushed you to become a creative person, to be a part of the jungle movement that was coming out at that time? Because you've been active in music since the 80s, very much a part of the birth of this whole movement. So what was it that brought you to that place? What were the forces shaping you as a young person that brought you to that place?
Tottenham is very musical. Sound systems everywhere. That's how I grew up. The sound system culture of first times in Tottenham, that's all we knew was sound system.
Reggae and dub sound system.
We grew up in sound system. My parents, the first place they got to live was in a sound man's yard. So when I was asking my mum about when I was 1, where was I, mum? And she said, there was a sound system, brother, that your dad knew, and he rented us a room. So I said, Mum, was there speakers everywhere? She said, yes. I said, all right. So that was the environment of Tottenham. It was just music, bass line, the reggae. I was a dub. I grew up as a dub youth. So, you know, Tottenham was a dub centre. And that was the environment of Tottenham. But at the same time, you had the juxtaposition of the Babylon situation. We were getting down-pressed as youths. The police were victimising I. There was a lot of things going on. You know, you could just do a bit of research on Tottenham, and then you'll find out the seriousness of Tottenham and how we grew up as youth, you know. It was very deep.
And your first name, the name you initially released music as was Rebel MC, which was how I first came across your work. And you also you've titled one of your albums Jungle Revolutions as well. So there's a sense of fight and there's a sense of revolution and wanting to bring about change. What kind of a change do you want your revolution to bring? What do we need less of? What do we need more of?
I feel the main revolution for us in the UK is the colour barrier. And that has been broken. Because at my generation, my dad's Jamaican and my mum's Welsh. So that mixed race vibration is now common. I'm sure if you go through the festival, you see a lot of mixed race children.
And it wasn't so common at the time you were born?
No, it was rare. It was a rarity. So the stigma that was around my mum, who's from Wales, she had to hide the fact that I was born. Because my dad being a Jamaican, and my nana, my Welsh nana, as far as she knew, black people were quite savage, and that was her interpretation. That's what she'd been programmed to think.
But you knew her growing up. You had a relationship with her growing up.
Yes, yes.
And how was that? What was that like?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So my Welsh nana, I actually lived with her. I ended up getting moved out of Tottenham for a little while, and I lived with my Welsh nana. and my papa.
In Wales?
In Wales, yeah. Clandrin Dodd.
How was that changed? That must have been a massive shift from Broadwater Farm Estate to Clandrin Dodd.
Well, from Tottenham, where I live, or lived, to Clandrin Dodd, it's a different world, you know. But it's beautiful to notice that Britain, as a whole, is unique like that. You only have to travel out of London and then you start to see the beauty of England and Wales and Ireland and Scotland, you know.
Should we hear some more music from the new Ancestors album? Because it's a long piece of work and it's a very rich piece of work with a lot of different sounds in it. Really been appreciating that variety as well. What would you like to share with us next?
The actual track called Ancestors.
Ancestors.
Yeah.
Congo Natty, ladies and gentlemen, and all between in Shambala 2023. Please give it up.
This station rules the nation with version. The children of England. Place called Tottenham. N15. N17. Jungle forever.
If you need to get up and rave, please get up and rave. That is an option.
They wanna kill the jungle.
Fire.
I'm walking with my ancestors. I'm walking with my
Original Junglist UK.
I'm walking with my ancestors.
I'm walking with the ancestors, the freedom fighters, the liberators. I'm a jungle soldier, there's no surrender. Stand with the ancestors. I'm walking with the ancestors.
Rules the nation with version. Portland
Now from the valleys of the Nile where it all started, where the white and the blue Nile meet and led. From the ancient tribe, don't be misled. Cause the ancestors, them are guided instead of what?
Rastafari.
I'm walking with my ancestors. I'm walking with my ancestors.
So on them, our jungle is rise again. Marcus Garvey said he want them, Bob Marley now pretend. So on them, our jungle is rise again.
Yo.
Marcus Garvey said he want them, Bob Marley now pretend.
Salam.
Mets a fiddles, me on a Paulo stick.
I'm walking with my ancestors. I'm walking with my ancestors.
Salam.
Ancestors. I'm walking with my ancestors. Ooh. Ancestors. I'm walking with my ancestors.
Salam, salam, salam.
Congo Natty. It seems to me that we're living in a time and in a culture that has less and less space to listen to the elders, has less and less attention to pay to the wisdom of elders. And it's particularly the case in the music industry, I think, where there's a real culture of fetishizing the youth, right? It has to be the new thing, the young thing. Anyone that's above the age of 25 is to be ignored or whatever. And that means that we miss out on a huge amount of the ability to pass on wisdom from one musical generation to the next. Because musical generations are very brief, right? You can be 10 years older than the next young thing and you're an elder in that. So how can we in music, and I feel like one of the answers to this question is this album, but how can we in music create spaces so that the wisdom and the things that we've learned as older artists moving through our careers can be passed down to the next generation. So people aren't getting exploited in the same ways time after time. People aren't learning the lessons from the elders time after time. How can we make space and make music that educates in that way that will be listened to? Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what we've been trying to achieve, right, since, say, the early 90s, right? And we haven't done that because there's a vortex. And this vortex is going so fast that it's catching our consciousness and it's catching our mindset. So it's only a handful of the younger generation that will take time out to listen to the elders, right? The majority, and it's not their fault. I was one of them that caught in this vortex of feeling that it's brand new, you know everything, you don't need to listen to anyone, right? But that only lasts for a moment. We are in a time of discovery where the new generation now are discovering jungle, for example. And for them, it's brand new. You know what I'm saying? So that's already like a mystic. So I feel we have done it, but it could still be on a bigger level because I think music is actually, look, we're celebrating 50 years of hip hop. So if it takes 50 years to get that message, well, it might take 50 years. You know what I'm saying? Because what's the message of hip hop? What is the message of hip hop to you?
Community, people power, strength in collaboration, peace and love. Those would be the prime things for me, I think.
Right. And for, say, the young generation now that know about hip hop, what they see in front of them is a $1 billion industry that's powerful. Who said it? I think it was maybe RZA. Not RZA. One of the rappers said recently that hip hop's in everything. Even if you see an advert that hasn't got hip hop music, it's got hip hop dress or some swag or some saying that they're saying in it. So I feel that music has filtered through and done its job. And we're at a moment now to reflect on what's the purpose of this job? Where are we going? What's the future for the babies? Are we going to do the same thing again? And we're not, because we're getting out. That's it. Music is about getting out of this crazy frequency, and that's the mode of the revolution. It's always been there. It hasn't changed. So Bob Marley and the Wailers, they were waking me up, my generation. So we're here again just to remind the youths, yo, this is an illusion. There's something more real out there, you know, and it's within you. And you are the universe. You are powerful. You are beautiful. Don't let anyone tell you nothing. You know, look, I'm nothing. To many people, I'll be something. But to one of the most important people in this world, I am not important to them. So who will be important to? We must feel from inside the truth of who we are. No matter what anyone else says, we are one. We are one at this festival. We've come here in love, peace and harmony. And we're going to take that love, peace and harmony home. And I pray for everyone in here that everyone gets home safely. I can feel the love in this room. It's real. Seeing?
Thank you. It seems to me that one of the things that is defining about the age we're living in now, one of the many things, is that musically at least, in the reality that I grew up in the 80s and 90s, we had a sense of culture. And the culture belonged to a place, and there were gathering places for that culture. The record shops, the raves, the places that we went to. And one of the things that feels like is missing now is places for a culture to belong to. And obviously, one of the things that's created that difference is there is such a lot of choice and such a lot of music now. You can just turn the tap on and the music pours out, and you have 50 different genres and 70,000 different artists in front of you to choose at any one moment. Whereas before, you walked into the record shop, you asked the guy behind the till, what should I listen to this week? And you got the record, you got to know it, and you went to the place where the next record would be played. So one of the challenges I feel we have as culture makers now is this disconnection from place and that lack of a sense of like a coherent culture and scene and, you know, community. I don't know how would you respond to that? How do we respond to that in the age of Spotify and streaming and all the changes that have come? Can we still make the spaces for the people to come? Can we still make church in the way that there used to be church for us to go and congregate in as fans and lovers of music?
Everything is within us, right? But we've lost it. We've given away our power. So we didn't really fight for the youth. We didn't fight for their spaces because we were under attack, barely surviving. So everyone's been barely surviving. So we can now see that the only place left we have are these gatherings. This is all we have now. This is it. This is Black Market Record Shop. You know what I'm saying? This is Tottenham, the record shop in Tottenham. So this is the hub. This is Soho, where we used to link up. This is Covent Garden right now. So there was a place where all the hip hop crew used to link up. This is when hip hop first came to the UK, and it was Covent Garden. And that was
Breakers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a gathering of souls. These things are not here, but they are here in this form now. So we have to take our opportunity in this form and use it. And I didn't know I was going to come in front of people today. I thought it was a private interview. So this is it. This is the start of the new way that we can actually sit down, because it's so nice to express ourselves. And I would like to hear some questions, at least a few questions from the audience, if anyone's got a question for me, because we need to communicate, and this is the place to do it. Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions for Congo Natty? Yes.
Hello. As a little boy, do you have any memories that were like a moment for you that made you know that music was your thing, was your calling?
That's a very good question. And I would say that there were many moments, but what kept on happening was the same thing. I kept on feeling this Holy Spirit. I didn't know it was the Holy Spirit. And I'll be asking people around me, can you feel like, are you feeling all? And they'll be looking at me strange, like they're not feeling that spirit that I'm feeling. And that started when I was 10.
Yeah, right.
And that started with Catch a Fire LP. Yeah, so that was it. It was just feeling a connection with the music, but it was a spiritual thing. You didn't realize what was going on, but as you grow older, you realize, yeah, you were connecting. Your inner vessel was opening up. Bless.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions for Congo? You do?
Hi, I just want to say thank you, because I grew up in northwest London and grew up with Jungle when it first came out, and I've been listening to it with my children, dancing around in the kitchen, spreading the love, and I always say I'm the OG, but just I think for me that's the thing. So I just want to say gratitude, bless up.
One love, sister. And that's what I love about. Big you up, sister. Big you up. Because the passion is eternal. And Jungle brings us timeless. So today where, it's my Earth Day, I feel like I'm 7. Seeing, and I say 7 because 7 is always the age that I felt free before you started to look in the mirror. It's before you look at yourself. When you look at yourself for the first time, you don't like what you see. You're like, no, is this what I look like? Oh my gosh. I want to look like my dad. He's black with short hair and he's got his features. That's how I want to look. I've got this funny hair, funny skin color. My nose is... So I'm 7 now, and I'm free. So thank you, sister, for that energy. One love.
It's funny you should mention it being your birthday today, Congo, because we have a little something for you. Would you like to bring it on stage, guys? To you, yeah. Happy Earth Day to ya. Happy Earth Day.
What?
Happy Earth Day to ya. Happy Earth Day to ya. Happy Earth Day. Give it up for Congo Natty, ladies and gentlemen. And there's a cake. There's a cake.
Big up my daughter. This is my daughter, Princess Kaya. Bless her.
There's no candles to blow out, but this is your cake. It says happy birthday on it, and it was created in the field just across there in the bakery overnight for you, Congo, and it's right here. Do you want to cut it up? Should we share the cake?
Yeah.
And we've only got time for one last song to share. So what would be the last? I've got one last question for you before we share the song, actually. As an ancestor yourself, you have children, you're a father. As an ancestor now yourself, firstly, no, just this question, actually. What seeds or beginnings do you want to pass on as an ancestor? What seeds would you like to leave behind you? What will grow when you're gone?
I pray that I leave my music that represents my heart and everything, all my energies go into creating music. But the most important thing, again, if I was to leave this earth, I want my children to be happy and my children's children. I pray for this. I pray for the happiness of the children because we've been through a lot of trauma. We've suffered a lot. Even recently, a lot of us in here have lost important people in our lives. So we're going through a time of a serious inner introspection has to go on. So I want to leave this music that I've created, and every song is a message. So the message is in the music, and the music does the talking. And that's the most important thing for me. And my family is music. All my family is music. I want to big up my wife who's here today, my queen. You know, big up my queen. See? I'm not an easy king, see? So I have to big her up. And I want to big up my mama, see? My Welsh mum.
All the mothers here, all the mothers.
Bless them. And bless my daughters, because today the family has come out. So Princess Lydia is here. My daughter, she's an angel. Princess Trinity is here. She's another angel. My son Congo Dubs is here. Kaya Fire is here. Prince Joseph Tafara is here. So we're going to have a family hug at Shambala, and we give thanks for that. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all in between, Shambala 2023 Sunday, Scan Your Biscuits with me, Dizraeli, Congo Natty. Please give a huge round of applause. We've also had Martin Carthy, godfather and cornerstone of English folk. We've also had the amazing talent of Blythe Pepino. So everyone that's been here for the whole time, thank you for joining us. We're going to have one last song from Congo Natty, if I can get the flipping internet to work properly. Otherwise, I've got one of your older songs on my hard drive already. Here we go. All right, let's go, before we lose it. Which one will it be? Is this one to rave to? Yeah? If you want to rave, you can rave.
In other words, the language we
Shabaka
speak,
Hutchings on the saxophone.
at this moment is what? A slave language.
It's been such an honor to have you on here. Thank you so much for coming.
Yo, brothers and sisters, it's our time.
They sail for Britain.
And also the one like Akala on this one as well. Big up Akala.
Yo, it's our time. Hold your head, fret not. Hold your head.
Scan Your Biscuits.